Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Ask the Professor. We're here today. We continue our discussion on relationships and dating. Specifically, today we talk about long distance dating. Hope everyone have a happy Thanksgiving and preparing for a very, very Merry Christmas. So, appreciate my fellow podcast members being on the show tonight. Miss Deb, appreciate you. Flex, appreciate
Hey,
you. So, yeah,
Eddie.
appreciate the flex. And without further ado, Flex, drop the intro.
Let me do it for you. Baby, love is yours. Yeah, baby, I mean love is yours. If it come down to love is yours. Let me show you how I prove love is yours.
Hey, people. Welcome to another Ask the Professor show. As you know, he asked me to come to add a little flavor to the show. You know, we have to have a woman's point of view. So with that being said, I need all my women, y'all men can log into, to go like, share, invite, and subscribe to us on our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn. Man, get us looked up. Hey, send your people, if they don't know about it, they don't have Facebook, send them to our YouTube page. You can go to our YouTube page and hit the subscribe button, ring that bell. We have so much great content that we want to bring to y'all, and we want to make sure that it reaches everyone on every platform, even if you're not on a certain platform. So join the conversation so we can continue to grow our audience. We want to thank the people, our followers, for always tuning in, sharing our shows. We want to do a special shout out to Sip and Converse Rebooted Community, and all of you that are watching, shoot us a hello, tell us how you're doing, good evening, happy holidays. Make sure you speak to us. You can go and hit us up in the comments right now. But we really do appreciate you watching, because today we are discussing long distance relationships. And, you know, that can be kind of tricky during the holidays too, you know. So a lot of you don't know this, but the professor loves to write poetry. He's going to open up the show with a special piece. And then that's going to lead us right into our discussion after he reads that poem. We're going to jump right into it, and we're going to hear the different views about long distance relationships. So, Professor, let's see what you got.
Bring us your love, Jones, brother.
What'd you say?
Your love, Jones, like the movie. What's
Jones.
His name? Darius. What's
Yeah, Darius Love Hall.
Yeah.
I don't know what's on that level.
From Nina.
Yeah, but I do enjoy writing. And I wrote a poem just for this topic. Hope it's well received, just to kind of give us some ideas, some thoughts, and everyone thinking towards long distance relationships. But I'm in the process of writing a book and doing several other things as far as, I guess, using my creative talents, I believe. So feel free to comment on my poem. If it ain't no good, hey, please tell me it ain't no good. Whatever the case may be. So I can handle it. I'm grown. I can handle it. And without further ado, let's get going. So this is my poem on long distance relationships. I have to read it. I have to memorize it because this is a long poem. So,
okay.
But
let me say this for you before you start. Let the audience know that he is an artist and he's sensitive about his shit. Go and kick that.
Right on.
Yes, but at the same time, I appreciate your feedback. Thanks for that, Dad. So here we go. Long distance relationships. Me. Gotta get my voice right. When it comes to long distance relationships, some say no way. The person I'm dating must live close to where I stay. It's funny because most single people are seeking relation, but expect to find the perfect mate in a single location. This is even more interesting when you consider the population of single women as compared to single men across the nation. Based on statistical information, maybe long distance should be given some consideration. I got it. Dating is already tough and distance makes it rough. But whatever happened to ain't no mountain high enough? This was written in 1966 and they didn't have cell phones, FaceTime, and all this technical stuff. The 60s were a different generation, but love is love, and they were willing to cross valleys, rivers, or any situation. They didn't care what they had to overcome or go through because nothing would stop them from getting to you. I've asked this question to many people about long distance, and they've all had the same decree. I need my partner living close to me. Is this for the convenience of intimacy or to ease your insecurity? True, some have hidden motives and their intentions could be impure. Sorry, but living in a close proximity is not the cure. And long distance is not for everyone, especially the insecure. Without understanding, there is no way for this type of relationship to endure. The distance and the time apart, to include the loneliness of mind and the longing of the heart. It will be wise to discuss each other's needs and requirements at the start. The last point about long distance distress is that success is a game of numbers, nothing more, nothing less. In other words, the greater the opportunity, the higher the probability. Again, it would be wise to search beyond your zip code, state, or even your city. But know that regardless of the distance, there is no guarantee that he or she will flourish into we. Regardless if the distance is a few miles or in another state, only mutual effort will dictate if your relationship is not so good or if it's great. It's time for the professors to educate. Please post your questions and your comments and please participate.
I'm digging there, bro.
I'm gonna give you a snap. I'm gonna give you a snap.
Them insecurities, bro. Them insecurities, man. That's a big part of it. I know. Traditionally, most people frown up on the idea of long distance relationships, and I think that's a big part of it. And you also alluded to needing to have your mate close, and I get it. You know, you get in a relationship because you want your mate close to you. And again, I think a lot of that can be driven by insecurity. So that's why I want the discussion to start on some of the challenges of long distance relationships. I'm a proponent for them. I think that's something that we should give consideration to. We're a mobile society. I'm sure y'all agree with that. We can get anywhere across this nation in just, a couple hours, from East Coast to West Coast, little planning, cheap plane ticket, road trip, or whatever. And I think that, especially when you think about small town, you limit it in yourself if you're only going to date within your zip code. So, hope this discussions trigger some thoughts and make people consider maybe dating outside their zip code. So let's talk about the insecurity part of it. Then we can get that out the way, and I think that'll be a big part. So why do you think, or how does insecurities play in? We'll let the professor lead that discussion.
Hey, ladies first. Go ahead, Miss Debbie J. You ain't said much. I just read the whole poem. I gotta get my voice back.
Really? That's what you want to do? I set the tone. I have no issue with that. How does insecurities
hinder long distance relationships?
Hinder long distance. It has everything to do with it, because if you are an insecure person, it is just not going to happen. If you're very insecure with yourself, you're going to be insecure with the person that you're with, whether they're long distance or they in close proximity to you. It's just not going to happen. I truly feel like people that are insecure don't need to be in relationships, period, because it hinders the growth of you yourself, and then it tanks and it becomes a toxic relationship when you're with someone else. So being in a long distance relationship and you have the insecurity of that person, no. Now, there's two different ways long distance relationships happen. Either you met each other online and y'all have been separated from the beginning and haven't even met each other yet. Then you have where you have been together and a job has moved one to another location in which you were not ready or able to move at that time. So with that being said, we have to talk about the dynamics of the relationship. Are we newly in the beginning, starting this off at this long distance, or are we already involved and have to separate and start it? Because insecurities can come from that as well. So it all depends on what stage you are in your relationship, how this actually works. Because if you knew your man was no good before he left and took that job, baby, it's not going to get no better. Y'all just need to call it quits and go your separate ways.
Or woman.
The loss. or woman, I'm sorry, and count the
Don't
loss.
do that. Don't do that.
And so with that being said too, on the other hand, if we're new at this, you have to be very secure within yourself to trust this person. And only thing you can go off of is their social media presence and what they tell you. So you have a 50-50 chance of finding a one or finding a dud. So go ahead. That's basically how I see it, because those are the two different ways it happens. But security does play a big part of it.
Yeah, before I make a response, I'm gonna say thanks everyone for the support and encouragement. I hope you like the poem. Hopefully, be many more to follow beyond this one. So, thanks for the snaps. Thanks for the just thanks for the well wishes. Appreciate it, and hope you all enjoyed it and it was well received. But what we got? So, comment here from a user said dealing with that now he is so insecure about every little thing. So I agree with Miss Deb that insecurity can be a big factor. So I mean, I think it kind of hinders. I guess it floats around uncertainty, I should say, because when someone's not, I guess you don't have immediate access to them or some level of access, immediate access, then that could develop some kind of uncertainty, and that uncertainty can grow into insecurities. And I also agree that you have to be a very mature person to be in a long distance relationship as far as your emotional stability and just having love for yourself. I do overall believe they can work. So, but it just takes a lot of effort, and you definitely have to do things to kind of combat those uncertain moments and those insecurities.
Yeah, that's good. And Jamel said that long distance relationships are hard due to access, which don't necessarily mean it's issues or insecurity. You know, you mentioned this in your poem that some people just want their mate close to them. They want access easily to access their mate. So I can definitely understand that. But you know, Deb, how do you feel about that comment?
Well, I feel like it's only as hard as you allow it. You have to set the boundaries from the jump. You have to know how many times y'all going to be seeing each other, if it's going to be once a month, once a quarter, something like that. And then what each other's schedules are, to see how often you can talk throughout the day. Because when a long distance relationship, you need to be able to communicate more throughout the day than you would with someone that you can actually lay eyes on. Because a relationship is getting to know someone. It's hard to get to know someone if they're not there. So you have to be able to communicate more than if they was actually there. This other Facebook user said, one thing that's about to make me call it quits is he wants me to do all the traveling to him. With that being said, if I was in a situation, I have the flexibility and he's paying for me to come. Every once in a while, of course, I will pay. But you want me to come to you, baby? Yes, I come, because I have that flexibility. Just even if it is one-sided, I come to you. I have no problem with that. But you're going to be footing that bill. Go ahead,
So, Miss David J. So I guess the question is, could you do a long distance relationship?
Hell no. And the reason why I say that, because my love language is physical touch. You cannot physically touch me when you're too far away. I'm sorry.
He can physically touch you when he's in your presence. He can't physically touch you maybe as often as you want him to.
Yeah, and I think sometimes women can give off mixed signals, conflicting desires, because they talk about it ain't all about the physical.
I know that. This is the conflict.
And I ain't saying that you there, but I've heard a lot.
Physical does not mean sexual.
Call a spade a spade.
No, because physical does not mean sexual.
Ain't no patent and rubbing.
Language.
Ain't no patent and rubbing. Ain't no patent and rubbing.
Hey, look.
My love language is physical touch. I don't care.
He said all that. Just said hell no.
I know, right? Listen, I'm trying to speak for generalizing, because I don't want to just fit it all on me. Okay, that's the reason why. Me personally, no, because I said my love language is physical touch. I do not care if you're watching the game and I'm on my computer actually doing work and we're sitting on the couch. Put your leg on me. Let me put my leg on you. I'm good.
So he ain't got to talk. He just got to touch you.
You ain't even got to talk. I just want to be touched.
Hey, this that country Wayne on you right here. Okay.
And it's not sexual. I just love the I am a very passionate man and I need my lover touching on and sweating on. Exactly. That's how I am. I want that physical touch. I'm going to take it as far as this. This is going to be a little bit off topic, but it's going to prove my point a little bit. A lot of women are using this rose, right? I know y'all heard about the rose.
I heard about the rose. You heard about the
Right?
rose?
You heard about the rose flex?
Mm-mm.
I heard about the rose.
I
The rose
know.
supposed to be
The
this magical sex toy.
It's a sex toy. Help you get off. A lot of women use the rose. They use dildos, whatever they may use to help themselves get off, right? That personally is not for me. I like to touch. I want to hear you in my ear, breathing, touch me, breathing on me, something that helps me get what I need. That other stuff is like artificial and I really don't want it. I'd rather have the real thing. So me wanting that physical touch and longing for that, it's going to be hard for me to do a long distance relationship.
See, this not, well, there's another side to it. The other side to that is finding a man that's qualified. So yeah, great. If you just had Mr. Perfect just fall into your lap in your city, great. You can have someone he has his lap on your leg or whatever the case may be while you watch the football game. But if you're just in your city, your options are very, very limited.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Dallas is a big place.
I mean, yeah, and you're right. So,
but you ain't interested in every man. He has to have attraction. You have to be attracted to him. He has to have some kind of a qualification. So yes, it may be a big place, but yeah, every man is not available. Every man is not an option.
And I think you're right, man. And to your point though, and we talked about this earlier, you just got to be open that what you want or desire. Here's the thing: we talked about this a few months ago, Professor, in the discussion that we've already eliminated a large portion of the population as far as when it comes to dating because of a number of things. Their
attraction, their height, their weight,
education, all these other things. Right? So my thing is, if you got all those things in place, realistically, how many people are in your near vicinity that meets all those qualifications? So my thing is, I think that we make dating harder than it should, and I think if it's if a relationship is important to you, I think it's worth considering. I ain't saying yes or no towards it, but I think you should at least consider it. And just like anything that you have to overcome in a relationship, maybe distance is one of them. And we'll talk about this later in the show. The end result for most people is like, hey, now that we are close, whether we live in different states or different parts of the city, we can come together. So I just think it's worth considering and not limit yourself so much based off of distance.
Yeah. See, I thought me and Dad would agree because I thought Dad would be for long distance relationships, but now she pulled the Bishop Bullwinkle out on me.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Hey, so here's let's get this coming in, and we'll touch a few more. Michelle says physical touch and quality time are important in emotional connection. Women are more emotional. So Deb, I agree. So, but you said it's emotional, but at the same time that he has to be there. So could you, if he has that mental connection with you, would you give a little bit because he's not there with you with the hopes that, eventually y'all will come together permanently?
That time has to be short-lived. I'm not trying to do a year of us split. At some point, one of us is going to have to move. And since my divorce decrees say that I can't move out of state with my child till she's 18, he got to go. He got to come to me. I'm sorry. But no, it depends on where you at in your life. Depending on, like you said, if you do have children and you're divorced, in my instance, I cannot move out of the state of Texas until my child is 18, according to my divorce decree. So my ex-husband can have that quality time with his child. So I won't be able to move. I have years to go, but I don't also feel like it's fair to him to leave his children to come be with me, and he only get to see them basically in the summertime or when they're on school break or whatever. I just don't feel it's fair for the children. I feel like so much of our relationships are based on how we feel and what we want, but when we really need to make sure our children are taken care of. I had the discussion today with you, Flex, and our friend, that if we focus more on our children instead of how we feel, so it won't be so broken all the time. It won't be such arguments in that sense. So with that being said, you have to take too much stuff into consideration when you're talking about long distance. I don't want to pull this man away from his kids, and I can't be pulling my daughter away from her dad. So how is that fair? Because we so love each other.
Yeah.
You telling me that this is the only person in the world? There's nobody in all of DFW for me. I'm that special. I got to get him out of town.
So you make a good point, and to this comment on here, says replying that she said there's no men in my town. So Dallas is a little different. So let's talk about the little small towns like Tyler, Texas, or Texarkana, Texas, or something where the population is limited. So
and everybody been with everybody in those towns.
So I mean, Vince, about that. I mean, Deb saying no to the kids, but I mean,
so my belief is I'm for long distance relationships. So, because at the end of the day, I think conversation is what building that conversation, have that mental stimulation and that emotional connection. It all starts with the conversation on the phone. And if you're a long distance relationship, you can't really spend much time together. I mean, you should have more than enough time to have conversation on the phone if the two are willing to have that conversation. So I'm for it. And all the challenges with kids and everything else, those challenges remains true even in close proximity and living in the same city. So kids and anything outside of the relationship, those things will always be true. Those things will always be a potential obstacle as far as you two come together, the amount of time you can spend with each other. So,
but I don't believe that. I disagree with that. I'm sorry. I can't go with that because any man that can't spend time with his child, you can't spend time with me, bruh. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen.
No, but I'm saying
you can find time for me, but you can't find time for your kids and you're in the same city.
I don't think he's saying that though.
No, that ain't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you always have to consider the kids. If you two have kids, so he has to consider time with his kids. You have to consider the time with your kids. And at the end of the day, even when you meet your kids, when do I introduce you to my kids? When do you introduce me to your kids? So the kids and everything outside of that, work and everything else, will always be something you have to consider in regards to where the relationship is. Whether he live next door or he live in another state. So those are you have to consider those things. You have to take those things into consideration. That's just reality.
Yeah.
We're talking about in the consideration of, I was talking in the aspect of moving, because me personally, if I do a long distance relationship, it cannot be for a long period of time. We're not going to do years. I need months, less than a year type thing. Because I want that connection. It's absolutely great at building a relationship because all you have is communication without the physical, no physical touch, and the sex is not clouding our minds, and we can talk. Hey, that is absolutely wonderful. But I am still human and I want that physical touch. Not saying that it has to be sexual. I want to feel my man holding me. I didn't have a bad day. All I can do is FaceTime. It's not the same. Come hold me. Let's lay on the couch and watch a movie till I feel better.
Maybe you can get him to mail you a T-shirt or some socks or something with a scent on it. So I don't know. Hey,
mail some underwear. That's what she wants. She wants them drawers.
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna wash them. I'm just gonna send them to you.
Yes. There's a couple conversations that's agreeing about the sex part. So this comment here saying agreeing to leave the sex factor out of the equation can be an amazing experience once connecting after marriage. So that's a whole nother level of I think maturity is the word I'm going to use.
I kind of agree with that because I think for the most part, I want to say 100%, but most people can do the physical thing. So most people I can put my leg on you. So that's too easy to do. I can put my arm around you. I can hold you in bed at night. Those are simple things. Those are easy things to do. Now, as far as the performance in the bed, that may be a little difficult. There may be a little more to consider there, but my belief is when you hit somebody, when you meet somebody and y'all connect as far as conversation, it hits different. It hits totally different than a physical touch. And I believe if you found that in a different state, in a different city, or long distance, you kind of hold on to that. Because you just don't find everybody that hits you in that different way and can connect with you and understand you through conversation and with those emotions.
Yeah.
Okay, so check this out. Jamal said, man, I need to smell mine and all of that. I need all of the senses engaged. Long distance relationship are possible and can work, but I feel like they are more difficult in the beginning versus if you already have an established connection. Absolutely. That established connection is the game changer for me. Us starting from long distance already without meeting each other and this, that, and the other, and we're meeting online. It's hard to trust somebody because people lie. They're going to try to tell you what you want to hear and what you want to know about them and make themselves look good. It happens all the time. That's why they wouldn't have a show called Catfish and it wouldn't have been running for all these years if it does not happen. So with that being said, establish that, try your best to find what you have in a town, or even if you are in a small town, like we was addressing, small towns like Tyler or Texarkana, where everyone knows each other or everyone has been with each other. Okay, 2 hours away, you can go to Dallas. An hour and a half away, you can go to Shreveport. Someone different from another city. That's not too far. That is a weekend getaway, because most of the time you need a weekend away anyway, and you can take turns. That one is so easy and so feasible and financially able to do. So no, you don't have to be stuck with the people that's in your town. Go 2 hours away and see what you can find.
Yeah. So what's your radius?
Be honest.
Down the street. Next door.
You know me so well. I'm actually
the 2 minutes in your block.
Yeah, no, I'm talking to someone that's 45 minutes away in Arlington. Their days off, they have 2 days off a week. I get one of those days, and I'm okay with that because my schedule is flexible. If I need to see that person, I literally can drive to them during the day and go have lunch with them. So it's not too bad. I wanted to spend time with them today, but I had other plans that came up first, and I went with those plans. And so I was like, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna come over to your side of town and have lunch with you at work. So it's not too bad for me at 45 minutes. Anything more than that, and I can't get back on my side of town before my child get out of school, yeah, I have an issue. I can't do that far.
So it ain't just seeing, it's the frequency is your issue.
Yes, the frequency of it.
Okay. Well, man, that's gonna be
tough. Like Houston, 4 hours away, something like that. That's gonna be kind of tough for me.
Yeah. So to people that's down there in Texarkana, Tyler, Killeen, all them little small towns, hey, listen to Deb, y'all in trouble. Y'all was gonna have to date somebody that's been with somebody that you know.
Killeen can go to Austin.
It's a cousin.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's good, man. This discussion been pretty good. We appreciate all the followers for tuning in, making the discussions fun. So I like this comment right here from Camerzella. She says, "Yes, I am a sapiosexual." So for those that don't know, Vince, can you kind of explain that?
Yeah, that mental stimulation really get to know someone and being emotionally available or vulnerable to really share yourself and get naked and get known with that person. So, hey, I think that's the beauty in long distance relationships. And I also think the beauty in long distance relationships is sometimes you have your space. So it's like, sometimes you don't want somebody underneath you all the time. So that stuff gets old and you can feel crowded and everything else. And you don't feel like you can spend time with your friends, and it's just over the top. It's too much. So it's like, I don't want someone under me all the time.
So you're saying you can't have that in a close relationship with someone close to you?
So you could, there's someone that lives within whatever 30 minutes or down the street. Yes, you can do the same thing. So you can have space. So it's like, I like space. So I like my alone time. I like my free time. And I like time to be with friends and to do podcasts, my kids and everything else. So I don't want someone necessarily up underneath me. So hopefully she has a life, and hopefully she has things that she's involved in and that could take her away from me, and we can come back together and just share those experiences with each other.
Yeah, and even back to this comment too, I think that what he's saying is that long distance relationships places more of a focus on this. Not that it goes away if you're close. But yeah, if you're distant, then you do have to focus on some of the other things. And I think it can strengthen the relationship, make you focus on other things other than physical. But
Yes, I think when you come together. So if you've seen someone, you haven't seen them in 2 weeks, when you come together, I think you're more likely to focus all your attention, your time on that person. So I think you appreciate the time you spend together more versus taking things for granted. Be like, hey, you lay your leg across me every other day, and it's like it's not as special. It doesn't mean as much if someone does it
Well,
every other week.
I feel like that kind of sets a relationship up for failure. Okay, so hear me out. We have started this relationship apart, and when we get together, it's absolutely fireworks. We are in love. I love it. I love being around him. I hate to see him go. He hates to see me go. We go our separate ways. We live our separate lives. We talk to each other. We FaceTime, and we're longing for each other during that time because they say absence of the heart or absence, whatever makes the
Hot girl
mind go
problem. Yeah.
fonder, whatever.
absence make you cheat.
It's I didn't say all that. I understand that. You long for that person more. I get it. But when you do get the opportunity, and because you've never been together and you do get the opportunity to move next to each other, all you know is that person, how they are within a weekend or whatever, a week maybe, if they have a week off of vacation, whatever. All you know is that person for that small amount of time. So with that saying, when y'all finally get together, it's like, you're not who I really thought you were. I like spending time away from you and missing you type thing instead of us always together. I feel it kind of sets it up for failure. Prove me wrong or tell me I'm wrong. I never been in it, but I feel like that's what would happen to me. If I have got accustomed to only seeing you every once in a while, and I love it when we're together and it's fireworks, but now we're together all the time and there's no fireworks, it's dull. Now, I just feel like it's,
I get it.
ugh.
I think it's understanding too, and we talked about this earlier, that the end result is hopefully that y'all are moving towards, being closer to each other. Some people, now if it's just long distance dating, just for long distance dating, I mean, it is what it is. The fizzle is going to wear out, and you get bored, and it'll be on to the next. But we got another comment right here. I want the professor to address this one.
Yeah, was it long distance relationship allows one to experience the highest level of intimacy, which is spiritual intimacy. Being so close sometimes can make space for things to happen out of order, and I agree. So I think all the fireworks happen through conversation. So if you're gonna have a connection, you have to ask a question. You have to be talking. So whether you sitting next to each other or whether you miles apart on the telephone, FaceTime, whatever the case may be, you have to have those conversations. You have to ask those questions. You have to be emotionally vulnerable and available to have those discussions. I think those things. I think that's the beauty in long distance relationships. It kind of forces that issue that you have to have those conversations and get to know someone and to see if you really connect with them outside of any physical touch or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, that's good. We got a follower, Alexander Young, one of my military buddies. Appreciate you watching in, brother. But he's saying my wife and I were long distance before we got married. So there's a success story right there. Again, I'm sure that they
I want him to answer. Can he answer this? Mr. Young, can you answer this? How was it when y'all finally got together? Was there any, not to be in your personal business, honestly, I truly want to know.
Was that patent and revenue?
Did you get, no, did you get bored or you was more excited? Like, I want to know, did y'all keep that same level of excitement when you got to see each other every once in a while versus seeing each other every day?
So let me ask you, Miss Dave, you don't get excited? You don't get excited to talk to your 45-minute guy? Because I get excited just to have a conversation. So it ain't even that I'm excited to see you, but at the same time, I'm excited to just have a conversation.
No. I do. I'm saying, but when you get accustomed to a certain way, I'm not saying with me every day, seeing you every day, I'm gonna get bored with you. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is now I didn't got accustomed to you being like 4 hours away and we got to go catch a plane or something like that to see each other. That's what I'm saying. Because we got so accustomed to that. Now, if me and 45-minute guy could only see each other once a week or something like that, then yeah, it's like there's going to be the fireworks versus me seeing him every other day or something like that.
That's what I'm saying. So why don't you have conversations? If you talk to them every day over the phone,
hold on,
there are
hold on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So hey, while we done, so she did ask young Alexander, bro, if you don't mind, man, I'm gonna put up a number on here. If you don't mind calling in, young, I want you to call in because I'm sure you got a lot more to say than what you can type. So we're gonna put this number on here. So while we continue the discussion,
man, you got the wrong number. It's 1-800 the professor.
No, man, we'll put that one up for the late night education show. But on this one right here, young, if you don't mind, or anybody, if you want to call in and have a discussion with us about it, call in. But we do got a couple more comments I want to address too, because we're getting short on time. So another Facebook user says you can be with someone every day and still don't really know them. So that's kind of what Vince alluded to earlier. You got some of the same challenges with someone that you're close with that you do someone that's distant. So you're right. I think it's all about the effort. We talked about effort, who's going to make the necessary adjustments or investments to travel to each other. I know a number of things can affect that, finances, availability with your job, kids, things of that nature right there. But I think all those things are you can overcome them. So again, I just say that you just consider it.
Yeah, so I want to talk about effort and see how Miss Dad feel about this effort in long distance relationship. Who makes the effort?
Yeah.
Hey, it's a 50-50 thing. Both parties have to make that effort. By all means, that's the only way it's going to work, because once that one person, it's not even necessarily 50-50, because at some point someone is going to be given more than the other, and you have to distinguish who that's going to be. It's the person with the most flexibility, it's the person that has the most time or the finances to do so, something like that. It all depends on the dynamic of your relationship. So hey, one person may give more than the next, but hey, hopefully you would think it'll be 50-50. Let's both do our part so we can make it work.
Yeah. Got another comment right here. Professor, if you want to address this one.
Consider this. What will you do once married? Life will happen. So if your relationship is based on sex, when time, space, energy, and the wherewithal presents itself unavailable, now what are you going to do? So, I mean, I agree. So, hey, I'm a sapiosexual. I appreciate conversations, especially those deep level, thought-provoking conversations. And when my grandparents passed, more specifically, my grandmother passed, I mean, no, me and my grandmother didn't have no sexual stuff going on, but I love to hug her and for her to hug me. And I said, if I can have anything, I would just want the conversation back with her. So outside of the physical touch, I just want the conversation. I feel like conversation is definitely the thread of life when it comes to relationships.
Yeah. And you're not saying that it stands in the place of physical, but it can sustain you until people can get together and spend time together, right?
Oh yeah. I think marriages, I mean, a lot of relationships fail because you really don't know the person, because you don't really have those conversations. And like I said, when you meet someone to where you just that comfortable with, and you just have those conversations, you just enjoy just talking to them, it hits different. It hits totally different than the whole physical thing. And the physical thing is even better.
Listen, physical does not mean sexual. Like she said, if the relationship is based on sex, hey, physical is not just sex. It's not. Physical touch, that is intimacy. Just holding and cuddling someone is good. Like it's not all about sex. And then too, when it comes to conversation, I want to be able to look at you. I want to look at your mannerisms. I want to look you in your eyes. I want to see if you're telling me what I want to hear or telling me what it truly is. It's not always sex. It's not, because if that's the case, I would be a big hoe if I didn't give it up to everybody I didn't talk to. Everybody don't get it, so I can put that out there now. I actually want to.
What's your ratio? What's your ratio? How many people get it? Give us some numbers. Put a number on it.
I can't give you no numbers because there's really no people. I mean, they can't even make it past 2 weeks of conversation on the phone with me. Like your conversation, my deal is I'm not going to meet you too soon because I want to get to know you. Like I told y'all before on the other podcast, I like to talk. I want to get to know you, but I'm also a physical person as well. I want to get to know you physically. I want to see how you act. I want to see your mannerisms. I want that physical connection with you as well, as long as I just don't want to hear words all the time.
That's good. Wait, so, I mean, you said Kabir, he got the looking eyes on her. You got everybody wondering about the sexual interactions with people. So hey,
what's your ratio?
Yeah,
I don't have a ratio.
Yeah. So here's another comment.
10 to 10.
Here's another comment from Michelle. Said balance, emotional, physical, and spiritual. If you married, there are other things that will go into play as well. True. You need a closer proximity to truly get to know each other. And I get it. Again, I think that the end game, if you're dating, to eventually, marry and get into a committed relationship, I think eventually, you got to consider, like, what are we going to do? We can't, I ain't gonna say you can't. I know people that have been married, consider us, we all been in the military. I remember my sergeant major told me the reason that him and his wife stayed married so long is because he stayed gone all the time. So to Vince's point,
exactly,
distance can help, a relationship absolutely makes the heart go fonder. So I think it depends on the people, what works for them. But I think all y'all point, there has to be more than touching. The emotional part is important too, but it has to be more than that. The physical touch is important. Sex is important, so even though physical touch isn't all about sex, we can't overlook the sexual part of it. Yeah. So here's another comment from Camerazella. She says, quality time and physical touch are my love languages. Both are equally important to me, but to know you from the inside out means everything. So, I mean, she's kind of amplifying what we all saying, getting to know everybody, from the inside, who they really are, knowing their heart. It does, I think it makes it easier, or it can be easier if you're close to each other, but to Vince's point earlier, apart from each other's forces, more conversation. So I think, it can go either way on that. So.
Yeah, and we talked about the effort piece. So I'm surprised Miss Deb said 50%.
Why you think I don't give? You don't think I give effort?
I thought she would say
that the man's supposed to chase her.
Yep, the man supposed to come to her.
Yeah.
No, like I said earlier, I jump on a plane every time. If you helping me pay for it, yes, by all means. If I have that flexibility, well, baby, we talking?
But he's a great guy.
Talking in the first place. You can be a great guy, but I need you to be great for yourself and get yourself together. Because if you can't take care of yourself, how are you gonna take care of me?
So because he can't afford to fly, he's not together?
Listen, if you can't afford to help me get to you, no. By all means, no.
I get it.
No, because
I don't get it.
You ain't gonna get on that.
I don't get it.
Your ass wouldn't get it.
Oh man.
I don't get it. Because
I need a man that has stability. I'm old school. I want that protection and providing and all that stuff for me. I will do my part. I will be the helpmate. I got my stuff together. So I want you to have your stuff together. If you have a financial issue, okay, by all means, fix that. And then let's get together at a later time. Or if we're already connected and then you have the financial situation happen to you, let's work through it and make it happen. Let's get you back on your feet. Let's see what made it go wrong and see what we can learn from it so we can not let it happen again. Because I need you to be the head of my household. And how you going to be the lead and you can't provide and protect?
Yeah.
This is the thing. I don't think he has a financial issue if he can't fly you out 3 or 4 times a month. I don't think there's a financial issue. It's just if he's asking for money, if he's asking to borrow money and help with his bills, now that's a financial issue. But if he's just saying, hey, I'm covering all my bills, I'm taking care of my kids and child support, whatever the case may be, and he don't have it in his budget to fly you out, I don't think that's a financial issue. I wouldn't personally.
But I'm supposed to have it in mind. because I'm paying for bills and I'm taking care of my child as well. So I'm saying I'm supposed to have it in mine, but you can't have it in yours. If that's the case, we do not need to be in this situation, or we need to be able to hold out as long as we need to, or whatever it might be. But at some point, someone needs to, hey, we need to.
You better what's that?
Get on the bus like Spike Lee.
She says, for the record, I am newly married, almost 3 months. We were both celibate during our relationship, courting for over a year. That's awesome. Congratulations, sis. And yeah, there were many times Jesus, needed to hurry up and make this thing happen by all means necessary. It's not that it's the physical. I went celibate for 5 years. I can put that out there. I have no problem. When me and my ex-husband separated to the time that we was divorced, I was celibate for 5 years. No man hugged me, kissed me, or anything, because I was getting myself, I was a mess. I was a total mess, and I would not let no one get near me.
So where are you now?
Because
Ain't a mess, man.
I ain't a mess now. Don't try me. I'm bougie. Hey.
Man, that's milk.
This is milk, people.
That's almond milk.
But no, I love that. I love that. But I know you was ready to make that happen, girl. I don't blame you. I would too. But I do commend y'all for waiting. That's pretty awesome. That allows for that mental stimulation to actually know each other without that physical part, and it makes you long for each other even more. So I love it. But y'all, look at the time. It has been a great discussion. But before we go, we want to give the plug for TLIYP.
The Floor is Yours.
The Floor is Yours podcast.
Stop tripping.
I know what that stands for.
Don't play with me, bro.
You put the acronym, I'm going to spell it out, but I'm going to tell her what it is. Floor is Your podcast, official barber. Miracle Hendricks. Flex, take us to the short commercial.
Your success ain't going to happen overnight. It may take a year. It may take 2 years. It may even take 10 years. For some people, it might take even longer than that. But one thing I do know, as long as you keep fighting and staying consistent, you will make it. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, are you going to make it?
Creed. Step in that water, step in that water, step in that water. Yeah. You gotta be willing to go out and get it. You gotta dive in it, go and get it. Step in that water, step in that water, step in that water. Yeah.
Hey, so if you on this side of town, the North Dallas area, this man is located in the Colony. I need y'all to pay him a visit and give him his flowers while he's here, and let him cut your hair. You ain't got to drive to Oak Cliff to the south side of Dallas to get your haircut. I'm sorry. There's plenty of people that's over here, and he is one of them. So go pay him a visit in the Colony. If you do not mind, let him know the Floor is Yours podcast sent you. But it's time to wrap up the show. Before we get into wrapping it up, let's do some parting thoughts. Come on, Mr. Professor, what you got for us?
Me parting thoughts. Well, everyone be safe.
Give us something to live off of, something to make us feel good, something to motivate us to get us through the rest of this week. How about that?
I'm saying, one love you like you love yourself. So I pray everyone has love for themselves, respect for themselves, and there's abundance of that within yourself. So love yourself. Don't be like Deb. And
Deb loves herself.
Deb was sending you her ratio. Deb will be posting the ratio here before the end of this week. So stay tuned.
Please don't.
No, the thing is, let me let y'all know, Deb loves herself so much. Deb went and got counseling and healed before she brought anyone else into her mess. Because I was a mess, and I went and got healed. I'm still in therapy to this day, every Monday at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., do not call me because I'm not going to answer because I'm going to be with my therapist every Monday. Okay, so
I'm her therapist. Hello.
Oh Lord, that's why I'm up. You see me talking to myself, it's because I talk to the professor. All right, Flex, let's hear your parting thoughts. Give us something to motivate us.
Mine's real simple. Suitability is greater than compatibility. Deb, you and I had this conversation a little earlier. You know, I say anybody can be compatible, you know, for the sake of existing. But I think the greatest relationships are built on suitability, and that's meaning I'm understanding what's important to you. You're understanding what's important to me. Let's support each other. You know what I mean? I got to be all in what you got going on, but it's good to have that support from the person that's your mate. So seek suitability over compatibility. That's the word.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm going to wrap up mine with the whole theme, the long distance relationship, and let you know a perfect relationship isn't actually perfect. It's just two people that has never gave up. And like we quoted from Love Jones earlier, Darius Love Hall said, they exhausted the possibilities. My deal is love is never lost. You exhausted the possibilities. It's always time to reinvent yourself, reinvent your love, go back to the root of things, and do not reinvent the wheel. Do the things that made you fall in love with that person in the first place. And hey, love can grow again. The sun will always shine. There will be rain, but hey, you have the power to let it shine. So let the sun shine so your flower can grow, your relationship can grow, your love can grow again. So don't exhaust the possibilities. Continue to evolve and grow within your relationships as you do in your personal and professional lives.
Cool.
I wish I had a mic so I could drop it.
Hey, so that's right. People love what you
big, man. Hope you dropping your big toe.
Hold on, everybody. Let me do this real quick. I gotta put my grill in so I can get a gangster because the professor been on my ass all night. Now what's up? No.
Like you can't hardly talk with that thing in your mouth.
I know, right? I gotta listen.
Yeah.
But I'm keep that.
Right on. Cool. So what's next?
What's next? We got the Flex. No, we got Flex. He's introducing Coach Cookie.
Yeah, so we got a couple things. Yeah, she didn't pass that right, but hey, it's all good. She did good on everything else, man. But listen,
almond milk.
Man, we got a lot of stuff going on the platform. So, man, I always tune in to the show to see what we got going on. You know, Coach Cookie, she's always doing her thing on the fitness side. We got Miss Tranquil T doing her thing with our must. You know, again, we'll post all this on the show. Superman T Will show, Educate and Motivate. You know, he took off for this remainder of this year. He got some personal things he's dealing with. You know, nothing bad, all good. And we're going to pick back up on those things about all, you know, home buying, you know, personal finances, you know, quality of life, those things right there. What else we got going on? Oh, Miss IC, we'll be back on next week. We got a great topic that we're going to hit on. I'm going to surprise you on it. So just, again, follow the show, see what's going on with Inspirational Chic. Also, the professor, we'll let you plug in the next show with Late Night Education in the next Ask the Professor segment.
Yeah, man, I forgot what's happening with Late Night Education. What was happening?
Man, follow the page. You know, this if you ain't got nothing else, you know.
Follow the page. We'll let you know the next time we'll be on and get
So follow the page. So we'll make an announcement as far as the next Late Night Education. So look forward to working with TJ and Zovisi on that show. So stay tuned for that. And as far as the Ask the Professor, so I guess we'll be back on hopefully before Christmas.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about the survey. So we sent out the survey asking about the positives and negative sides, the greatest emotions that you feel in relationships. We got a lot of responses, and we look forward to sharing those responses on the next show. So, and we will be sending out several more surveys on different topics. So appreciate your participation. We really greatly appreciate your feedback. So if a survey comes back, you see a survey posted, please respond, non-attribution. So we're not calling anyone out by name. We're just trying to compile some results and just to see what's on the hearts and minds of our viewers. So appreciate you responding to the last survey. Appreciate you viewing the show tonight. Thank you, Dave, for being on, and Brother Flex hosting. So appreciate it. and look forward to seeing you on the next show.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, and, follow Ask the Professor page. You can always call 1-800-Professor. But I do post poems and other stuff out there on my page. So if you get out there, you see a poem come across the Ask the Professor page, feel free to leave a comment. Appreciate your feedback.
Yep.
Is you finished or is you done?
I'm both.
Okay. All right. With that being said, once again, go like, share, subscribe to all of our platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn. Hit us up and tell your mama, your cousin, your sister, your brother, your auntie, your uncles, hey, we want to blow this podcast up. We come with great content and we hope that y'all do love it. We take all y'all suggestions to heart. We love your comments. We love your feedback. So keep giving it to us. And I want to thank you, Flex and Professor, for another great show. Thank you for having me on your show, Mr. Professor. Ask the Professor. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
And thank you, audience, again, for tuning in on your comments and your feedback throughout the show. We truly do appreciate it. We want to thank Sip and Converse for spending the hour with us. Who is that? I'm missing that one.
That was in your glass.
Flex? Really? Flex, we can't hear you.
Just keep going. Bless you. Bless your heart.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, that's it.
Yeah,
That
bless
is
your heart,
the
for real.
show. That is the show. So go ahead and cue that outro then.
Hey, y'all be safe.
Let me do it for you.
Baby, don't forget the floor is yours. Yeah, baby, I mean the floor is yours. If it come down to the floor is yours. Let me show you how prove the floor is yours.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah.
Hey, y'all be safe
Whatever
out
you
there.
celebrate. Have a
Appreciate you.
wonderful holiday season. God